is going on, guys? So today we're back with another Pokemon Masters video, and today I'm gonna take a little bit of a look into Blue. So this is kind of a series where I have a longer format video. These aren't necessarily short, quick, like informational type videos. These are kind of long, drawn out, more of like discussions and number crunching and things like that. So if you're into this kind of thing, I do have another video on Rosa, which I will actually go ahead and put into the screen right here up on that card. But basically, it's just kind of a informational type video, kind of like a very in-depth analysis on specific characters. And today we're actually going to be taking a look at Blue, the man himself, the man of the hour, probably man of the month at this point. I don't think we're going to be getting a new sync pair before the end of the month, but possibly. And if you hear any like crazy little noises, my dog is literally right underneath my feet. So the first thing that we're actually going to take a look at here is just Blue's stat page, or whatever you really want to call this. So of course we do have 5-star unit. All of the numbers that we're going to talk about today are assuming level 100, completely maxed out. Even our sync pair is going to be level 5 out of 5. That's how I took all of my numbers from this. So we are a special attacker predominantly, so we are going to be focusing a lot more on the special attack stat today rather than maybe like our physical attack. We're going to be focusing on moves that do have that special category rather than the physical category. We do have a weakness to rock, and at the moment the biggest threat out there as far as rock type goes is going to be something like Lycanroc with Olivia. Definitely going to be a big powerhouse. Other than that, like maybe Brock with Tyranitar. I can't think of too many other ones off the top of my head, but we'll go with those two as our biggest threats there. And of course we do have an evolution with Pidgeot boosting us up to Mega Pidgeot. So we are going to talk about a little bit of the pre-evolution and the post-evolution today, and kind of just talk a little bit about both of those. So in regular Pidgeot, we do have our main stat being our special attack at 336. That is actually insanely high. So if you guys haven't actually noticed, I actually have a spreadsheet that I keep down in the description below that just has a ton of information that I have compiled from the game, from various sources like Cerebi and places like that, just trying to compile all this information myself so that I can personally look through it and just have like a reference. If you're a part of the Discord, it's also interfaced with the Discord bot. You can get all of that information. If you don't want to pull up sheets on your phone or whatever, you can just do it off of the Discord bot. Either way, actually, if we filter everyone by their special attack, if we do it from highest to lowest, Blue before he mega evolves is actually tied with a 336 on special attack for Karen after Houndoom mega evolves, which is insane. And there's only 2 Pokemon that actually end up having higher special attack stats after Karen with Houndoom, which is Agatha with Mega Gengar, and then ourselves whenever we evolve into Mega Pidgeot. So huge stat here. Our special attack is literally just ginormous. It is the best one in the game after we mega evolve. But does that really translate to an amazing performance? Well, not necessarily. So the kind of big question that I want to answer with this video is, should you summon for Blue? Do you need to summon for Blue right now, or can you pass and save your gems? First and foremost, I would love to know if you personally already A, have Blue and will be using him, or B, plan to just completely pass on him, because some people just don't care for it. So the 2 main questions that I think you should answer for yourself is A, is he your favorite character? Because after all, kind of the way that this game is set up with Pokemon Masters is that if they're your waifu or husbando, then you kind of like really want them, and I understand that. There are several Pokemon out there that if they ever get added into this game, I will completely drop my wallet for. But if Blue is one of those characters, then yes, obviously you should be summoning for him. The second question is, do you need a really good special attacker? So if you answered yes to either of those questions, then sure, you should probably go ahead and scout for Blue. The big thing for me though was, I already have Houndoom, and I felt like, well, if I already have Houndoom, then I actually have one of the better special attackers in the game, right? Yes, but I am actually quite intrigued by some of the results that I got after trying to crunch some numbers here. So I am going to link a special spreadsheet down below. It's just a very small, very little spreadsheet that just kind of has some filterable options that you can kind of sort by, and you can personally see the results of these Pokemon and what we're actually going to be looking at in the video. So first thing that I decided to do was I decided to filter every Pokemon in the game by special attack. I took the highest ones that we had and compiled them into a list. Now, because there are several Pokemon that evolve and have Mega Evolutions here, we kind of had to come up with a couple of duplicates, but trying to also compare those as well, because it is kind of important to remember that because we have to Mega Evolve, we actually have to wait for a little bit before we can reach our max potential here. So that's kind of a factor that we need to play into, but it's something to just kind of remember. So first and foremost, we actually end up taking the highest special attack stats in the game. So we basically have a mix of Blue with Pidgeot, Gardenia with Roserade, Brendan with Trico, Agatha with Gengar, Karen with Houndoom, and then we have Hau with Raichu. So Hau with Raichu is actually not, he's up there in terms of special attack, but he's definitely not the highest. So I did want to take him into this kind of situation because I knew he was going to be one of the best special attackers that free-to-play players have as is. So if you want to remain free-to-play, then this is going to kind of be like, do I want to spend my gems on Blue or should I save? That's kind of the whole purpose of including Hau in this scenario here. So what we actually get is if we filter our Pokemon by special attack stat, of course we do have Mega Pidgeot coming in at the very top with a whopping 403, as you can see on the phone. Then we do have Mega Gengar at 339, Mega Houndoom at 336, regular Pidgeot matching that at 336 as well, Trico at 306, Houndoom at 306, Roserade at 304, Gengar at 283, and Raichu with 271. So what I then did is took all of those Pokemon, and for this scenario we're going to look at Pidgeot here. If we take a look at Air Slash at max base power, we do have 54 there, versus Air Cutter with a max base power of 51. So technically Air Slash is our best possible move in terms of just pure damage output. We're not really looking for like AoE damage or anything like that. We're just trying to maximize damage here, because in a lot of scenarios, it really just becomes, do we have enough damage to just overtake the opponent's team? A lot of the story is just DPS checks. That's just the way that this game is at the moment. So we take our highest move there and we're gonna record that. So in terms of our highest move, Trico and Roserade actually both have the move Leaf Storm, which is our highest base power move just out of this small sample size at 163 base power, which is insanely high. That's a huge base power just for a single move. Mega Pidgeot actually ends up having Hurricane, which you can see here on the phone. Mega Gengar has Shadow Ball, while regular Gengar also has Shadow Ball. Mega Houndoom has Dark Pulse, and then we have Raichu with Discharge, Pidgeot with Air Cutter, and then regular Houndoom with Snarl. So those are all in order of how much their base power actually is, ranging from Trico and Roserade tying with Leaf Storm at 163 all the way down to Houndoom with a whopping 46 with Snarl. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of discrepancy between these. Even though these are the highest special attack stat Pokemon in the game, there's a lot of discrepancies in their base power versus how good they actually utilize that special attack stat. Next, we moved on to our Sync base power, which as you can see for World Swallowing Hurricane is a 192. So it does actually end up evolving us into Mega Pidgeot there, but if we actually filter by all of the other sync pair moves here, Roserade and Raichu actually come in at the top because their sync moves actually have a base power of 300. Then we have Trico at 240. And then we have all of the Megas, which all of the Mega Evolution sync moves actually just end up having a 192 base power before and after Mega Evolution. So all of the rest are literally just 192. So then what we end up taking is we take all of those numbers together and we kind of create a little formula. We have a special attack times move base power plus our special attack times our sync move base power. And what that ends up giving us is this gigantic number, which we're just going to basically divide by 100,000 just to kind of give us a little bit nicer of a number. But if we sort by the highest damage output down to the lowest damage output, it's kind of an interesting time here because Mega Pidgeot actually does end up at the very, very top here. It is going to have the most damage output in terms of these Pokemon, just looking at these select few Pokemon and just looking at just raw damage output. This actually, as far as I know, I haven't seen a concise damage formula yet, so these numbers aren't supposed to be like what the max amount of damage that you can output is. It's literally just a number to kind of rank these Pokemon in terms of their stats by. So Mega Pidgeot definitely comes in at the top, but it's actually not too much higher than the second and third spots. So Roserade actually ends up clocking in relatively close to Mega Pidgeot there, which is actually really interesting. Trico actually ends up being third. Then we have Mega Gengar, Mega Houndoom, Raichu actually pulling in as the least damaging Pokemon after you talk about Mega Evolutions. Gengar, Pidgeot, and Houndoom on their own before they Mega Evolve definitely don't hold a candle to Raichu. Very interestingly here, we actually can see that Roserade actually only has a 4.19% difference in terms of her raw damage output capabilities here. To kind of sum up what the big question is for this video is, should you scout for blue? It really is going to end up depending on what units you already have. If you already have Roserade, if you already have Trico, and you already have Mega Gengar, then you already have the top 3 special attackers in the game, really. Mega Houndoom, I thought for the longest time that it was going to be the definitive special attacker, but after looking at these numbers, I honestly think that Roserade and Trico would actually end up just being better at a lot of different things. Now, of course, type effectiveness does also play a big role here because, of course, if you're looking at a water type Pokemon that has a weakness to grass, of course Trico is going to perform better, but just in a general sense, just completely neutral damage, Mega Pidgeot is going to have the highest damage output capabilities to each unit in the game currently. So if you are after that insanely high special attack output, then yeah, I would say that Mega Pidgeot is probably worth scouting for. But if you already have Roserade, Trico, even Gengar and Houndoom, then maybe not. If you're only stuck with Raichu for free to play, if you haven't by chance summoned any characters that are particularly dominant in the special attack category, Raichu is pretty low. I mean, compared to just what Mega Pidgeot is capable of outputting, Raichu almost only does half of that capability. So it's pretty insane to say that if you only had Raichu, if you were a completely free-to-play player and you didn't have Roserade, Trico, Gengar, or Houndoom, then having Pidgeot, and by extension of that, having Mega Pidgeot, would literally double, almost double your capabilities as far as a special attacker. So if you're completely free to play, then I would say yes. If you just by chance don't have the other special attackers in the game, then for sure, yes, he's definitely worth trying to scout for. But if you already have one of the other ones, then it's gonna kind of be up to you on how much you actually put into this banner. Personally, for me, I do want Blue. He's not necessarily my favorite character, but just the collector in me wants to collect him, wants to add him to the roster. So I definitely do want to have it. But outside of that, though, it's not like it's really necessary for me. I already have Karen. I don't necessarily have anybody else that's amazing. I do have Hal, which is fine, but I don't actually have Gengar, Trico, or Roserade, so I'm actually lacking a little bit on the special attacker side, so Blue would actually be a great addition to my team. So with that said, I would love to know whether you have gotten Blue, plan on continuing to summon for Blue, or what your outlook is on Blue, whether you think that he is a great unit or a very bad unit, because there seems to be a lot of just split down the middle for Blue right now, and it's kind of interesting. Hopefully this video kind of persuades either one side or the other for you people that are undecided, whether you think that Blue is worth summoning for or he is just not worth it at the moment. But with that actually said, we actually are going to head over to our game really fast, and we are going to get in here and do a quick summon. We are going to do, not that. We are going to go over to our shop. We do have our daily discount today, so we're going to try and see if we can get good old old Blue added to the roster. What a fitting video this would be to obtain him on. If I can get him, that would be amazing. So let's throw that down. No flashy animation there. Filling up our bar. Let's see what kind of antenna we end up with. We've got the 3-star antenna, so just a beacon there. What kind of doors do we got? Just 4-star doors. Well, we got Chantal, which is not bad. We will take Chantal there. That is a completely new unit for me. So that's 2 new units in the last couple of bits. You guys may not see that because some of my videos, the way that they're going to come out are kind of sporadic. But either way, at least it's not a dupe. I'm super happy for that. But that is actually going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much for watching. Always remember that if you are interested in the spreadsheet that I used to get my information from today, it is going to be linked down in the description. As always, the Discord link is down there as well. We will be starting up some co-op battles in the next coming weeks. I don't have a for sure time frame on that yet. I have a lot of personal life stuff going on, so we'll be getting to that soon. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and head out and play those ending credits for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember that if you like to like videos, you could do that, but if you don't, you could be that guy. Otherwise, let me know what you have to say down in the comments below about the video. I do highly appreciate you guys watching. If you guys want to support me in any way, there are several links down in the description for Patreon, joining the community here on YouTube, or even just directly PayPal if that's your thing. I greatly appreciate everyone's name that's on screen, as you guys have showed some sort of support outside of just viewing the videos, and I thank you guys. You don't understand from the bottom of my heart. So until our next video, guys, I will catch you then.